Okay. Hello, medical assisting students. Um, in this video, I just wanted to revisit the metric conversion system. I briefly talked about it in another video that had to do with dosage calculations, but this one I just wanted to focus only on the converting of metric system. And we're going to use the base unit of gram to do the conversion, the conversions only because that's probably the most common conversion that you're going to do as far as the metric system is going to be. So if you look, like I stated before, on pages 48 to 49, you'll look at the metric system and it's in units of 10. But really the best way to remember it, there is a little saying out there like King Henry died drinking chocolate milk, something of that nature, where it tells you where everything's at. So you can look that up if you want to, but I'm just going to go over it here really quickly. So our base unit in metric, like I stated before, is either like going to be a liter, which just has to do with liquid, and or weight, which is based on grams. So we're going to go by grams. So grams, oops, sorry about that. Let's see, yeah, we'll do, okay, so gram, nope, that's not what I want. Okay, sorry guys, just trying to figure this out. Okay, gram. Gram is, so you've got your base unit here. So again, base unit, great, is gram, sorry. Then within this same system, I'm going to have kilograms. Kilograms are all the way over here on the metric system. But to the right of gram is actually going to be your milligram. And then to the right of that is going to be your microgram. That's about all the areas that you're going to have to remember on the metric system. Most of the time, you're going to be converting from either gram to microgram to milligram, or milligram to or microgram to milligram, or milligram to gram for the most part. But you might see other things in there. Again, I'm just giving you the concept. In between here, from a kilogram to a gram, are 3 decimal places. Same thing in here. In between a gram and a milligram are 3 decimal places. And then same thing between a milligram and a microgram, there are 3 decimal places. So of these numbers that is going to be what you see the most, if you can remember these 4 different weight measurements and know that there are 3 increments in between each, you should be able to get everything that you need to do. And it will be everything you need to do as far as converting just within the metric system on the test. There are a couple other conversions that have to do with milliliters and household measurements, but I'll go over that as well. So if I start off with 4 grams, but I want to go to milligrams, I am going to take my I'm going to take 4 here. There's a decimal point right here, and I'm going to move my decimal point over to the right to get to milligrams, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and add zeros. It's that simple. But if I'm going to start with milligrams, let's say I have 72 milligrams, and I want to go to micrograms, I'm going to do the same concept. 72, there's my decimal point. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, and add my zeros. And then, so this would be milligrams here, and then this would be micrograms. So again, anytime that you're moving from left to right, so even if I started off with 3 kilograms, I'm going to take 3 decimal point and move it to the right this way 3 times. 1, 2, 3, add my zeros, and I have 3,000 grams. However, if I'm going to start at the right of this little chart here, and if I'm going to start off at micrograms, let's say I have 250 micrograms, and I want to, oops, sorry guys, there we go, micrograms, and I want to convert it and put it into milligrams. Well, now I got to go to, my decimal places have to go to the left. So my decimal place is right here. I'm going to move it over left. 1, 2, 3. My decimal place goes there. But what do I have to do with that decimal? With that decimal in front of that decimal? I have to put my preceding 0. So I have to put a preceding 0, and it's 0.25, but we don't add the trailing 0, because that trailing 0 does nothing except for it confuses people and could cause a dosage miscalculation. So 250 micrograms is 0.25 milligrams. So now let's say if I start off with 7.5 milligrams and I want to turn it into grams. Again, I'm going to go to the left. Here's my decimal point. I'm going to move it left 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. The decimal point is going to go there. Add my zeros, and I have to add my preceding 0, and I come up with 0.0075, because 5 is not a 0, you have to have that, grams. The same concept. If I start off with grams, if I started off with this 4 grams and I wanted to go to kilograms, I'm going to take it and move my decimal point over left. 1, 2, 3, 1. Here's my decimal and a preceding 0, and I'm going to have 0.004 kilograms. So really, for us, that's all you need to know. If you can remember kilograms, 1, 2, 3, and grams, 1, 2, 3, milligrams, 1, 2, 3 to micrograms, and back, like I said, right to left, you should be just fine. Keep practicing this though. If you need me to do more, let me know. But this information, even talking about it, that table on page 49, table 3.4, it talks about moving the decimal point back and forth and shows you examples as well on how to do that.